Me, during reasonable hours of the day. I never want to do anything in my life, ever. Me at 3 a.m., I have to learn how to play the piano immediately. And it's always the things you can't immediately do. Like it's never, I want to learn how to cook, because technically if you live alone and you have a few things at home at least, you can kind of learn how to cook. Like you can try out a few recipes maybe. It's always the things you can't do, because you're not gonna have a piano around. If you want to learn how to paint, you're not gonna have like that stuff around. It's always the things you don't have at home. Hello BabyQueers and welcome back to my channel. It is time for some more neurodivergent memes, because with doing videos less frequently, I feel like I haven't done this in forever. So we definitely need to do it again. But you know the deal. Before we continue, we all gotta get hydrated. So grab some water, or some tea, or whatever else you like to drink. And then we'll look at some memes. Are you hydrated? Good, let's go. Do that chore you've been putting off so you can finally have peace of mind, or draw 25 cards. No peace of mind here today, because the state of our mind isn't unsettling enough. Like, when it becomes urgent enough in our own heads, because you've shamed yourself for long enough, then at some point you can do it. Until then, there is kind of no chance. Sorry, the chore is gonna have to wait a bit, you know? It's just gonna have to wait. How I think my face looks versus how it actually looks. Just this. Because honestly, I feel like when I'm like really tired or exhausted from dealing with people or just in general, I feel like I kind of lose control of my face. Like my face doesn't really move anymore at some point. Normally it will. But it never looks how I think it will look. Like, smiling on a camera, super weird for me. You won't see me smile too often in my videos. Or at least not if I'm like trying to purposely smile, because that's gonna look weird. It never looks how you think it looks. Okay, settle in, this is kind of a longer thread situation. The strawberries have gone bad. Neurotypical person tosses bad strawberries out and puts them on the grocery list. ADHD person, oh my fucking god, I suck. I was going to eat those, like with yogurt on a healthy eating plan, and it's wasted money. Honestly, I don't deserve strawberries at all. The worst one is milk or anything else where you think this is gonna smell bad in the trash, so I'm going to leave it in the fridge for now. Not to mention just knowing it never got ate because you kept saving it for just the right time. Just the right time made me laugh. ADHD person leaves them in the fridge for 6 more weeks because if they go in the trash now, they'll make the whole house smell bad. But they will. Because it's always when the trash is still like super empty. So you know that if you throw them into the trash now, they're gonna sit there in the trash and get warm, and like everything is gonna go moldy in that trash bag. You can never do it. You just can't. But you're not gonna have the energy to walk outside to like the outside trash and put it there, because if it smells bad there, no one's gonna notice, like it's fine. But you don't have the energy to walk all the way out there for like a little container of strawberries or something. So they're just gonna sit in the fridge for a few more weeks. Yeah, because you're gonna push them to the back and then you're gonna forget about them, and then you find them occasionally and you're just like, but I just emptied the trash again. All the while being sad about how you literally just wasted money, especially lately when everything is so freaking expensive anyways. And then things go bad? No, I hate it. Why is everyone suddenly being diagnosed with autism? Because in the past, no one knew about autism. We were literally just thought to be fairy children who had snuck into human homes and taken the place of ordinary children. Yeah, the first person diagnosed with autism is still alive, apparently. Yeah, things don't really seem as new, because it doesn't seem like autism is that new, that people that were first diagnosed with this are actually still alive. It seems wrong. Maybe we have no concept of time. We literally just don't. But just realizing that the first person is still alive is so weird. That's just weird. But honestly, the whole, oh yeah, no, we didn't have it back in my day. Well, actually, since y'all are also still alive, you just didn't know about it because you're ignorant. And also, just because you don't have the language to describe something doesn't mean it's not actually a thing, you know? The two ADHD moods. I can't do it. I can't stop doing it. The two types of ADHD time. Now or not now. The two ADHD memory modes. I literally cannot recall the words that just came out of my mouth. I can recite the opening paragraph of every single Magic Treehouse book. For the memory one, the first one is so much more common for me. Like, I talk and I have no idea what I just said, and that's why sometimes my sentences will probably not make sense, because I don't know what I just said. I don't know if how I continue the sentence will make sense. It's probably not going to be grammatically correct, but honestly, who cares at this point? Just know. But then there are just like things you remember so vividly, and you're just like, why that though? Why did my brain decide this is important enough? Oh well. But the whole time of now and not now is so weird, because suddenly you get the urge to do something. You know you need to do the thing now because you've been putting it off or something, or maybe you just really feel like doing something now. And someone's like, wait, but can't we just like chill here a few more minutes? Like, it doesn't matter if you start doing the dishes now or in 10 minutes. And you're just like, if I don't get up to do the dishes right now, they're never getting down. Just me? Okay, yeah. Audio processing disorders is just like, you're going to be able to differentiate 27 distinct sounds happening simultaneously, except for when someone's talking to you. Good luck. Yeah, people think my ears are so unreasonably sensitive. I must be able to hear them. This is false. I can't hear the clock ticking though. Yeah, that's the thing. But like hearing the clock ticking, or hearing like electricity, or hearing like a machine making noise is all like well and fine, because that's like a repetitive noise and that just keeps happening. Or like traffic noises is also pretty repetitive, and you don't really need to process it a lot to understand, oh, that is a car driving by, or oh, that's the fridge humming in the background. You don't need a lot of processing to recognize that that sound is that. When someone's talking to you, you can hear them talking to you. You can recognize that someone is talking, but you don't process the words because you're so overwhelmed with all the other sounds in the background, like cars and birds and fridges and whatever else is going on, that it's just difficult to process the actual words. People will say, we didn't have autism in my day, and ignore the fact that in their day, there were people who didn't allow guests in their home, ate the same food every day, wore different variations of the same outfit every day, were experts on a few niche subjects, collected ornaments, rarely spoke, read voraciously about one thing, and were considered sickly, shy, awkward, dramatic, and or sensitive. They were definitely autistic people, they just weren't diagnosed or even identified as autistic, but as eccentric and or troubled. Which is not better, because if you don't have the language to know why you're so different from other people, it can just be very easy to just feel kind of broken, or just like weird, and kind of keep struggling with this like shame cycle of why am I like this, when in reality, if you have the language to be like, okay, yeah, no, it's the autism. I have the tism, so that's why my brain works this way, so that's why I'm different from other people. It's way easier to start accepting that and kind of just making the accommodations to work with your brain, rather than shaming yourself for it, or just be so lonely because you don't know what's going on. All you know is you're different than everyone around you. You know, that's why the language is important, and honestly, it's literally just for us ourselves, really, because for neurotypicals, really, from the outside to like those weird neurotypicals that just like want to judge you for everything, to them it doesn't matter if you do it because you're autistic or if you're just weird. It's not gonna matter to them. Like, they're not gonna care. But for you, it's important to know, because if you know, you can make peace with it, and you can like find ways to cope with this silly world that kind of really doesn't work for you, if you don't try to somehow bend it to work for you. Hot take: neurodivergent people do get social cues, they just get confused by inauthentic social cues. Society is full of fake smiles and small talk that makes no sense. I can see your soul is in pain, boo. I can't in good conscience be comfortable as you tell me about the weather. That, and we've just been told over and over that if someone's like, oh yeah, no, I'm fine, and you know they're not, because you can see they're not, but you've been told off before for keep asking, or you just don't know really how to, because maybe you don't know this person that well, and you're just like, I know you're in pain, I don't know how to help you, because you've known that stuff that might be good to you in that moment isn't necessarily like gonna be the right approach for other people. So maybe we do get confused. Maybe neurotypical people are just really good at giving an authentic cues. Honestly, autistic to autistic communication apparently very effective. Neurotypical to autistic people communication more difficult, yeah. Person: what's your favorite song? Me, with no object permanence. It's hard to choose. Person: so what hobbies do you have? My mind goes blank. Some guy: what's your favorite film? Me, I have never seen a film in my life. But it feels like that. It just feels like that. Especially on top of that, if you have like no normally functioning emotional permanence. So like, while you're watching something, you're just like, okay, I love this. This is so good. And I feel like this about so many series. But then I stopped watching them. And in the back of my head, I was like, I know I loved them. I have no memory of what happened. I will only remember like half the plot. I just know I loved it. But I won't also exactly know everything I felt while watching it, because I don't know. It just vanishes. You know? And then it also is like incredibly hard, because it all just kind of becomes a blur of, yeah, no, I enjoyed that film, or I enjoyed that series, or I enjoy a lot of songs. Like, I like a lot of songs, but then it just all becomes a blur and you can't pick. Just don't ask us to, please. Some days, my mind feels like I'm in an escape room with 23 talking monkeys, and none of them speak English. This is also what it feels like to be around people sometimes, though. Because you can either hear them talking and they're not making sense because you can't process what you're saying, or they're just talking in such a weird way that it still doesn't make sense because you know that these people aren't actually saying what they mean. And honestly, there's nothing that drives me more insane than unclear communication. But yeah, just having like weird noises and voices in your head doesn't help when you're trying to make it through life. The ADHD urge to literally do anything else other than the thing you're supposed to be doing. I swear to God. I don't know what to tell you. You're probably gonna be doing, like, I don't like this picture to this text, because this text definitely, literally, if someone says, oh, can you do the thing? Like, you need to do the thing now. Not gonna happen. We're not gonna do it. But I don't like this picture with it, because a lot of the time, we do things that are still important to do. We're just not doing the thing we're meant to be doing. But you're still doing things that are important because maybe they're good for you, or maybe they're actually like stuff that needs to be done, like whatever. You were gonna take the trash out, but then you saw that you needed to write a shopping list or something. All things that need to be done, just not the thing you meant to be doing. That's why I don't like this picture, because this picture is definitely useless. There's no point in doing this. which honestly is also okay. Like, if you do things just because you enjoy them, this man does not look like he's enjoying what he's doing. Society. Autistic people do not understand hierarchies. Me knows that hierarchies exist and understand how they operate, but doesn't value them and doesn't believe that any human is A, more important than another, or B, should mistreat or exploit those lower down in the hierarchy. That's the thing. Like, I know it's a thing. Like, I know hierarchies are a thing. And that's about it. Like, I know why you put them in place, because if everyone's just running around like headless chicken and like the one's in charge, nothing is getting done either. So to an extent, I kind of understand why you would do something like a hierarchy. The thing is, we're not gonna understand why you think it's okay to treat those that are lower in the hierarchy than you in such a bad way that so many people do. And we're not gonna participate in that, and we're not gonna like be bootlickers to the one that are like higher in the hierarchy, because they're just people and you're just a person. We're all just people. Like, what are you doing? No, I don't understand hierarchies, but I do. You know, one thing I wish people knew about the auditory processing disorder was that when I ask you to repeat something, I need you to repeat the whole thing. If I hear my keys and ask, what? So many people just respond with my keys. And I have to guess if they said, I need you to grab my keys, or I already have my keys, or something else, or ask them, what about them? Which frequently annoys people and makes the conversation longer and more complicated than it needs to be. Please just repeat the whole sentence. It saves everyone so much awkwardness and confusion. Because yeah, these people will get mad because you ask, what? And they just say, the keys. And then you have to ask again, and then they're mad because you're not listening to them. Listen, I really wish, I really just wasn't listening, because that way I can just like focus and then understand what you're saying to me. But that's unfortunately not how auditory processing issues work. So, also pulling me to a, like, what is it called? Like an ear doctor, and having me have like an hearing test way too many times probably. It's not gonna help, because they're just gonna say, oh yeah, no, he hears fine. Because yeah, my hearing's fine. My hearing's absolutely fine. My processing, however, sometimes, yeah. Okay, I just remembered something important, but we can't do it right now. Okay, I'll take a mental note. Scroll, scratch. Is that an Etch-a-Sketch? It is. Great. I've never had one. Did I have one? I'm not sure. I don't think I've had one. But that's how it feels. You write it down, but then as soon as you need to take a new note, you need to erase the whole thing. Yeah. It's great. This is honestly kind of an accurate representation of our brain sometimes. Like, sometimes, again, our memory is super good, but usually just not with things that might actually be important. Everyone's autistic now. Okay, my single 63-year-old neighbor with $1.2 million of model trains in his basement, who wrote a 90-page letter to the city about the brightness of streetlights when I was growing up, was just a regular guy then. A regular guy, sure. A neurotypical guy, on the other hand, absolutely not. But I guess this man would really not be happy with the streetlights now, because I feel like with LEDs, they're just getting brighter. They're just getting brighter, so man's not gonna be happy, because I hate them too. Some people exercise before breakfast. I am watching a show I don't like because the remote fell on the floor. Also, these are the same people. Or maybe that's also just me, because listen, I will just like take a shake, like a protein shake or something, and go to the gym before having like actual breakfast. Absolutely. Because the gym is very people-y, but if you go as early as you can in the morning, it won't be as people-y, you know? And sometimes you just don't want to move, and sometimes you're just going to be on your phone anyway, and it's not really going to matter what's on the TV. So these are the same people. I don't know what you're saying. When you get up to do multiple things, how do you remember everything you have to do? I have to say everything out loud over and over until I do it. Pee, snack, mail. Pee, snack, mail. It goes to pee. Okay. Snack, mail. Snack, mail. Get snack. Mail, mail, mail. But don't put the snack down. And you can't actually eat the snack while saying snack. So maybe change the order. But literally. Because as soon as you stop saying it, it's gonna be like the Etch-a-Sketch, and it's just gonna... And throw some other nice random thoughts on there. So I don't know how to help you, because I do the same thing. Maybe not actually out loud. Like, I do this in my head a lot. You know? And it sometimes only moderately works. Like, in my old gym, I would sometimes like drive home from the gym. Like, okay, I'm gonna get home. Then I'm gonna turn on the shower, because I had this like weird thing I had to preheat before I could even take a shower, and I forgot to turn it on before the gym so many times. But anyways, so I'm gonna do that. Then I'm gonna like get the food out of the fridge so it can kind of get warm, so I don't forget it, because I'm gonna see it on the counter. But then as soon as I was home, I was just like going upstairs and then not saying the list anymore, and then I forgot anyways. Yeah, you're welcome. That was a very helpful tip. When the laundry is done drying, but it has to be folded and put away. I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it. Listen, in this household, we leave the dry laundry hanging for at least 2 or 3 days longer than we have to. So I'm pretty sure I don't have the strength to do what I need to do, you know? Or at least I need a few days at least to collect said strength. 13-year-old me, don't tell me what to do. Me now, could someone tell me exactly in chronological order and with great detail what I have to do? But also don't tell me what to do. Like I'm both of these people. I mean, I'm not 13 years old, but I hate being told what to do. Like, it's very, you know, I have a difficult relationship with people telling me what to do, because yeah, sometimes it's helpful. Like when you don't know what to do, or like at work something, it might be fine. But also if I want to do something at work and then someone comes and changes that plan again, because they're like, yeah, no, but before you can do that, we need to do this other thing. Why the last minute changes of plan? Come on. Me in school at 7 a.m. versus 1 p.m. Because we all loved sitting in school, right? With loud classmates and teachers who were very much not understanding of anything, and constantly thought that chewing gum was disrespectful, or that if you were fidgeting, you weren't paying attention, or stuff like that. Yeah, we all loved this, and it usually didn't even take until like 1 p.m. to look like this. It didn't take that long. Okay, I'm suddenly feeling very judged by Cinderella. Cinderella puts away all the materials from one project before starting something new. And in this moment, it became very obvious that it's a children's book, and they're just trying to teach kids that they should kind of clean up after themselves, which generally, cool. Yes, it's a good thing. We need to teach kids this, because it's probably not something they're going to do automatically. But for neurotypical people, that's just a call out. Me, in sensory hell. Just drowning in sensory hell. My family mocking me for politely asking them to quiet down a bit. Okay, guess I'll drown then. But literally, they take it so personally. But like, especially if in a situation where you just can't like get out and leave. Like, imagine you're at home and you have like very thin walls, and you tried going into the other room because you can't go outside because it's like super bad weather, or it's kind of like very late and you live in a very sketchy area or something, and and you go into the next room, but you can still hear them through the wall. So you go back over and you kind of politely ask them if they could try to be a bit quieter, and then they just mock you for it. Great, cool, we love it, because honestly, people don't understand it. Like, I feel like if they actually understand, or like would understand what it's like, they wouldn't make fun of it so much, but they just don't. They just think that you're being sensitive, or that you don't want to deal with them anymore, and they just take it so personally, and it's exhausting to try to explain it to them, because they're probably not going to listen, and I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. I wish you all a very, very understanding family, I guess, if that even helps. So that was all the memes for today. Again, I am feeling very sufficiently called out, actually. But yeah, I hope you had fun. I hope you're hydrated. Because especially if it's as hot as it is here right now, then you definitely need some more water than you usually do. So, remember to stay hydrated. And I'll be back in a couple days with my next video.